Hello everybody, it's Philip from MDF1 and this is our week 4 project video where we are talking about using WebViews and displaying sources for the WebViews as well. We were asked to go ahead and create a tab controller that had 2 tabs, so let's go ahead and show that. Here we go. We have 2 tabs, one labeled web, one labeled source. In the web view, we have a toolbar with back, stop, forward, reload, an address bar, and go, as well as our web view. And in our second tab, all we have is a label and a text view. Fairly simple process there. Let's go ahead and show you what it looks like. So as we can see on load, it goes ahead and loads the website, which it also does respond to orientation change as well. And we can go ahead and click on source to automatically load up the source data. Anytime that we change the URL and switch to this, it'll load that source. So if I come up here to the top and I enter my business address, it'll load that up. And then if we click on source, as we can see, it loads the source for QPC. We can go ahead and click on back, which will take us to the previous page. We can go ahead and click on forward, which will take us to the next page. We could click on stop if we could get there fast enough and it would stop loading. We can also click on reload, and that would reload the page as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at the code. So here is the first view controller. This is going to be where the web view is located. We have all of our necessary outlets for our buttons as well as our web view. I'm also referencing our main tab controller. Then we can go ahead and create an IB action for on toolbar button click for each one of these buttons. And then we come over here to the view controller implementation file. We synthesize our main tab controller. On load, we're going to go ahead and pull the custom view of the text field and set it to auto size, so it takes the address bar takes up the available width. And then we're going to set the URL to our desired site. We're going to set our buttons to their initial display. And then we're also going to initialize our request and load our request, reference our tab controller, set our URL based on the URL of our web view, and then go ahead and set the URL text. This is where all the magic works right here. This is the toolbar button click event. As we can see here, we're referencing the sender as a UI bar button item, and as long as it is a valid item, we're going to switch the tag. And of course, tag 0 is our back, where we can check can back and go back. Stop is if it's loading, we're going to stop. Forward, if it's can forward, we can go forward. And go is a little bit more tricky because we have to reference the address bar as a custom view, convert that to a text field, make sure that the URL is valid, and then go ahead and create a request and load that up. Then of course we reload, and we also have a stop command as our default. And then we have our secondary class view here, which of course we have a label, a text view, and an activity indicator. Again, we're referencing our main tab controller, so we can pull out that URL, and then we have an NS mutable data source. And if we come over here, we can see that we synthesize all of our properties as necessary. When the view loads, we go ahead and tell the indicator to stop animating, and we reference our main tab controller as the self tab controller, and then we set our source data to a blank init. And then we come down here to view will appear. Now every time the view appears, set our label text to the main tab controller current URL's absolute string. And then we're going to create a request, create a connection that we start immediately. As long as the connection is not nil, we'll be happy. Create our source data as blank just in case, and then of course we clear the text view. On the connection, we're going to check if the data is nil. If it is not nil, we go ahead and append the data, and then we're going to check for the finished did loading. And if the finished did loading, the loading indicator stops animating. If the source data is not nil, which means we have data, we're going to convert that data to a string with NS ASCII encoding because we want the source, and the source is ASCII. And then we're going to set our text view to that string. Now, if we did receive a will send request, we go ahead and load, make the loading indicator start animating. And that, guys, really is it. I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you guys in the next class. Bye-bye.